Hey students, welcome back to my channel. How are you all? I hope you all are safe and doing good. And one more thing, I know that you all were missing me because I was not active on my YouTube channel since last 1 month. And also I'm getting lot of messages. Thank you so much everyone for your concern. So guys, the reason why I was not active on my channel was some health issue. But now, as I am fine, so from now onwards, I am resuming my tutorial classes. So, students, today's topic is DBMS keys. But before we start with the video, I request you all to please subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends as well. And don't forget to press the bell icon to get the latest notifications about my channel. Now let's start with the topic DBMS keys. So students, we have discussed quite a few things in our DBMS lecture videos so far. And in this video, we are going to discuss what is key, how keys are related to database tables, why do we need keys to access data from any table. So now let's get started. Firstly, we will look at the simple example so you get the basic idea what keys are, alright? So let's say we have got a table over here, and in this table we have a unique information about accounts and their information. Now each row, as you can see, is a unique combination of information that is related to each other. So let's say we have got here account number 114871, and this account number belongs to the account holder Ram. His age is 23 and the branch in which his account is Delhi, and the balance of that account is 5,000 rupees. So all this information is related to that one account and it's a unique combination, right? Now, how do you differentiate each of these rows from other rows? Now, to differentiate each row separately, we need to have a unique identifier, that is a property that is unique for each row. So, let's say we take a name column here. See students, there can be two people with the same name. Let's say we have got a Sham over here, right? And we have also got a Sham over here also. So this is not a unique identifier. Why? Because more than one person can have the same name. Now let's take the age column, right? Then again, there can be two people of the same age. Neither we can use the branch name, because there can be multiple people in one branch, and we also cannot use the balance column, because two people can also have the same balance. Like here you can see Ram and Rohit have the same amount of balance, that is 5,000 rupees. Now what is left? Account number. Hence we will use the account number to differentiate or to identify each unique identity separately, because the account number is unique number for every account. Alright, so this account number becomes the key. So students, I hope you got the idea of what a key is. Alright, now let's have a look on what are we going to learn in this video. So in this video, we'll discuss what are keys, what are different type of keys, what is super key, what are candidate keys, what is primary key, and what is a foreign key. Now firstly, what are keys? See, RDBMS simply is a table of information, and each tuple or row, we can say, should be a unique combination of information. And by unique combination, I mean no two combination or rows can be same. Moreover, the keys are also used to establish the relationship between the different tables and columns of a relational database. And to uniquely identify any entity from entity sets, since there are multiple entities and entity sets, so we need to have a unique identifier which cannot be same for any two entities. So for example, account number of any customer or the registration number. So account number cannot be same for two accounts and hence it's a unique identifier. Also the registration number cannot be same for two students and hence it's a unique identifier, that is, it's a key. Alright. Now next we'll discuss different types of keys. See students, there are mainly four types of keys. First is the super key, second one is the candidate key, third is the primary key, and fourth is the foreign key. Now let's discuss them one by one. First is the super key. A super key is basically a set of one or more attributes that are taken collectively that uniquely differentiates a row in any relationship. That is, it can differentiate an entity from a set of entities. Now, let's look at an example of a super key. For example, an account number. See students, account number is a super key because it can differentiate each entity differently, as every account holder has a unique account number. Also, any superset of the account number, for example, the account number and name is also a super key because, as you all know, account number itself can differentiate and identify the uniquely each entity, but a combination of account number and name can also do the same thing. Alright, so this is called a super key. Now next is the candidate key. So students, as we discussed, super key, one of the component can identify the entity uniquely by itself. So super key can be any single attribute or a set of attributes. But candidate keys, unlike the super keys, are a set of attributes whose subset cannot be on its own be a super key. That is, just a single subset of an attribute cannot uniquely identify the entity uniquely. That is, you need to have the whole combination so that you can identify the entity uniquely. See students, keys are basically selected from the set of super keys. But the only thing we take care while selecting the candidate key is that the candidate key should not have any redundant attributes. Alright. Now let's understand the candidate keys with the help of an example. Let's say we have a table name student with the attributes student roll number, student name, student address and class of a student. And here we have 4 students data in our table. Alright. So you can identify what is a super key in this case. So a super key in this particular case is the student roll number. And why so? Because it's a unique number for each student, and also any superset of student roll number with either student name or student address or class can also be a super key. But what about the candidate keys? Can student name be a candidate key? Can it be a candidate key? No. Why? Because candidate key must be a set of attributes. Alright. Now let's see which set of attributes can form a candidate key over here. Let's say student name and student address. Can it be a candidate key? Yes, it can be a candidate key because no two students can have the same name as well as the same address. So this is a candidate key. Now what about the student class and student name? No, it can't be a candidate key because there is a possibility that two or more than two students with the same name are studying in the same class. Also in this case, you can see Ram Kapoor is in the class 10th. Also, there is another Ram Kapoor who is also in the same class 10th. So, the set of these two attributes cannot differentiate a single entity uniquely. So, student name and class cannot work. Now, what about the student roll number and name? So as you know, student roll number itself can act as a super key as it can uniquely identify an entity on its own and doesn't require any subset to identify an entity uniquely. So this is an example of a candidate key. Now next are primary keys. So a primary key is a column of a table or a set of columns that help you to identify every record present in that table uniquely. So there can be only one primary key in the table. Also, the primary key cannot have the same values repeating for any row. That is, one primary key can have only one primary key constraint. Right? Now let's understand with the help of an example. So here we have a table named student with the attributes student roll number, student name, student address and class. So here what will be the primary key? So see, you can see the student roll number does not change. Student name also does not change. Student address may or may not change, but the class changes regularly. So the criteria to identify, as I told you, is it should not change. So class as it changes can't be considered as a primary key. Then student address may or may not changes. So it can also be not considered as primary key. What about student name? Student name may change or there can be more than one student with the same name. So you can't consider student name itself as a primary key. So now it's clear we need to use student roll number as a primary key as we do not want the primary key to change regularly and the student roll number doesn't changes very frequently. So it can be used as a primary key. Fine. Now let's look at the foreign keys. So what are foreign keys? So students, foreign key is the one that is used to link the two tables together via primary key. It means the columns of one table points to the primary key attributes of the other table. It further means that if any attribute will work in another table as a foreign key attribute. Now let's say, for example, every employee works for a department and a company or an organization has multiple departments. But we cannot add all the attributes of the departments in employee table as they are attributes of departments and not the employee. So to create a connection between two different tables, we need to add primary key of the department, that is department ID, as an attribute for an employee, which specifies the ID of the department employee works for. So now the department ID becomes the foreign key in the employee table and both. Now let's say we have three different employees and three different departments. Now here the attributes of employees are employee name, employee salary and department ID. Whereas the department also have attributes like department ID, department name and department capacity. Now, as you can see over here, the employee ID becomes the primary key because it's a unique identifier. Also, the department ID is the primary key for the department table. Now, we will use a department ID as a foreign key in attributes of the employees. Because every employee works for a department, right? And every department has to have a unique ID. So, that is how we do the connection between these two tables. That is, we add the department ID, which is the primary key of the department table, as an attribute for the employee table. Now you can see, let's say we have a person who works in IT department, and let's say the ID for the IT department is 3. Right? So we have got a person named Jinmesh who is working in department ID 3. Now you can go and check which department is that. And if you go and check the department ID number 3, you will find it is IT department. Alright, it is IT department. So this is how we make connections between two tables which have different attributes. So this is about the foreign keys. And you can also use foreign keys to find different useful information. Let's say you want to find what is the amount of salary that is given to, let's say, marketing department currently, and what is the total expenditure of the marketing department. So what do? You go and check marketing department ID, which is 1. Now you take that ID and go to the employee table. And you search for all the employees whose department ID is 1. Okay, you find 2 employees, that is Rajesh and Krishan. Now you just add their salaries, that is 20,000 plus 20,000, that is 40,000. So this is how you get information by adding foreign keys and by connecting two different tables that have different attributes. Alright? So this is all about the concept of keys in DBMS. So students, thank you so much for watching. If you have any queries, please feel free to ask them in the comments section. And if you like the video, please share it with your friends and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.